I have shot with quite a few 50mm lenses over time. I think the main reason for this is because when I find a camera to test, more often than not, it came with the 50mm prime attached. A few great examples of 50s I've come across over the years are the Pentax M 50mm f2, the Minolta 50mm f1.7, both manual focus and maximum version, and Canon's FD and EOS 50mm f1.8. It's funny because it's not even my favorite focal length, but it's the one I'm best at simply because I've had the most practice with it. I can easily snap a 50 on any camera, and I know I'll be able to find pleasing images. It's also my go-to for low-light, handheld situations. Hi everyone, Azriel Knight here, and on this episode of Days of Night, we take a look at the 150mm prime lens that stuck out to me above the rest. That is the Sigma 50mm f1.4 EXDG HSM. Stay tuned to find out why I've bought this lens twice. As just mentioned, I have bought this lens twice. The first time I owned it was way back in 2012. I bought one on eBay and used it quite a bit over the following years on my Canon EOS 5D Mark II and on other EOS cameras, both film and digital. Not only did I find it aesthetically appealing with its chunky form factor and giant front element, but when I read the reviews, it was one of the few third-party lenses at the time that rivaled the Nikon and Canon equivalents. Photography Life, for example, discovered that the Sigma 50 was twice as fast at autofocusing than the Nikon 1.4G due to its hypersonic motor. There are in fact a bunch of reasons why I love this lens. The aspheric element reduces aberrations, the oversized barrel reduces vignetting at wider apertures, there are 9 aperture blades for a more pleasant bokeh, a super multi-coated layer for reducing ghosting and flare, and a full-time manual override. A few years ago, I got rid of all my Canon gear and I used the money to buy more film stuff, and I invested in a Fujifilm mirrorless, which I enjoyed, but ultimately I prefer having a DSLR. Though I do have a Nikon ZFC now as well. Anyway, I wasn't ready to switch to a mirrorless full frame, and the Nikon D780 gives me everything I want, including the ability to swap my lenses with my Nikon f100 and f80 35mm film cameras. Buying modern lenses for film bodies is the best of both worlds to me. I got to thinking about my old Sigma though, especially after I was less than impressed with the Nikon 50mm f1.8G. I mean, it shoots fine, but for the price, it's a little cheap. I decided to buy my old friend the Sigma, and that's one of the great advantages of third-party lenses, is the ability to repurchase your favorites even if you switch sides. To my surprise, I found one in great condition for a mere $207 USD with shipping, cheaper than what I paid for the Nikon 1.8G. The original price for this lens when it was released in 2008 was $500 USD, and for the life of me, I don't know why it's come down so much. Being able to use the same lenses on film and digital is my main reason for holding out on going fully mirrorless. I guess stay classic means using a DSLR now, especially with how many f-mount lenses Nikon has discontinued in the last couple of years. You know, we've all asked each other, what is your island camera? That is, if you're stuck on an island and only had one camera, which would it be? Because, you know, if you're going to starve or get heat stroke, you might as well be creative about it. I would struggle to come up with an answer for a camera, probably the f100 or D780, but the lens is an easy choice, and that's this one. Is it a perfect lens? No such thing, and in this case you may find the 77mm thread a bit hard on your wallet when it comes to filters, and it can only stop down to f16. For me though, these aren't deal breakers. Here are some photos I took the first time I owned this lens, as well as a couple recent shots on film. Enjoy. I hope you enjoyed those. Be sure and let me know what your favorite lens is in the comments below, and if you like what I do here, consider supporting me on Patreon. Also, don't forget to sign up to my subreddit, Discord, and newsletter, and until next time, stay classic.